Whoa, wait. Isn't... Oh, we've got to do a Mario's Pipeline.
Do you have a script for that?
I don't. I don't know.
Justin, are there any games that you wish you'd beaten?
Games that I wish I'd...
Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Pipeline. My name's JewWario, and here with me, as always, is my buddy Shuuki.
How's it going?
Now, you saw what the question was here, and, you know, that's a good question. How many times have we played a game, stopped playing it, put it on the shelf for several months?
And never gone back to it.
And never gotten back to it. Well, my first reply was Zelda, Majora's Mask.
The one Zelda we couldn't come up with a mean thing to say about.
It was, you know, so many people don't... so many people like the Ocarina of Time a little bit more than Majora's Mask, but boy, this was a good game. This really was. I really liked the time travel aspect of it. I liked only having 3 days. It was interesting, and it followed up on the Ocarina of Time gameplay, which I really enjoyed. But between the two, I think this was my favorite. And unfortunately, there was one boss near the end filled with bats, one eye in the middle of his forehead, and I cannot finish it. And I'm so close to the end, and I just can't finish it.
It's not happening.
Yeah, it's bugging the heck out of me. But that's one game that I wish I could finish, but right now I'm just not good skills. How about you, man?
One thing I really kind of wish I'd beaten was Tomb Raider. I knew this to be a good game. I read reviews for it. I'd seen it played. I played it. I owned it, obviously, at some point. But there was just something about it. It was so specific, like you had to develop a certain set of skills. And it was so tough, like you had to line up pixel precision in a 3D environment. I mean, you know, we were playing Mario earlier, and I noticed that you had like one pixel to jump. It was the same thing, but Mario, like, you've got your pixels, and they're right there. But Tomb Raider, suddenly it's like the pixel could be out here.
You have to jump off a wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Spinning, yeah.
I think I got a good halfway through it, and I just couldn't get any farther. I wanted to go back and play the Anniversary Edition that came out for next-gen systems. Maybe someday. I don't know. Apparently it suffers from the same problems.
Wow.
So...
Well, you know, and a lot of PS1 games did that.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're just getting into 3D, you know, just getting into that realm. So, what about you? What else do you have?
Another one that I just feel really bad that I hadn't finished, and I want to, is Final Fantasy VII.
You and me both, buddy.
Oh, gosh. My problem was I played the heck out of it. I went through the alternate storylines. I searched every nook and cranny. I spent a lot of time on this game. And the one item that I didn't understand, I used too soon when I was going down in the caverns.
At the very end?
Yeah, at the very end.
Oh, wow.
And it was a save point, because the entire third disc is the crater. And I used it too soon, and I guess I could grind my way up to be a 99, but I'm not going to do that. I've spent way too much time in it already. And No, so unfortunately I've just never finished it, but boy, I really like the game. I really like the game.
Yeah.
You got any others?
Oh, I'd say the Chrono series.
Oh, Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
Yeah. Again, also games I've known to be good, but... I just couldn't get into them, and I find it really hard to get into, like, JRPGs, especially, but, I mean, I started it, and the story just looked amazing, and, like, the things that I'd heard, and the way you go back and forth, and how things change, I mean, it just sounded so interesting, but I never got more than, I don't know, an hour into it, and a friend of mine regularly pesters me. It's like, oh, you know, have you played this game yet? Have you played that game yet? And this one is always in there eventually. Just, no, I haven't. But, you know, definitely want to sometime. Well, and that's the funny thing, too, is that I can get into, you know, next-gen games. I can get into, like, the Bethesda games, like Fallout 3, and just recently I've been playing Fallout 3 again and grinding the hell out of it.
Really?
And somehow I can find my way around doing that.
But just not Chrono Trigger,
yeah,
Chrono Cross.
Something about this game. It's so pretty, too. But I don't know what's wrong with me.
Might be that, Jen. Well, and there's one that we can both definitely agree on, and that's Okami.
Yeah.
I've played Okami quite a bit. I know you had been started it a little bit.
Started it. Wanted to play it on the Wii.
Has anybody even finished this damn game?
I don't think they have. I think the game people on Game FAQs, maybe. Did any reviewer even finish it?
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. How many reviewers actually finish games?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you've got a month and you need to review 4 games and you've got a week per game, how deep can you really get into a game like this or, Chrono Trigger in a week? If you've got, say, 50 hours, theoretically you could sit down for 48 hours and play 2 days and beat the game, but you're not doing that.
Well, and I wonder if they're missing things that could help them in their review.
Exactly.
That they just don't touch. They don't figure out because they haven't gone all the way through. And who's to say that a game is fun all the way through and then the final boss sucks?
Yeah, exactly.
And it just ruins the entire game.
I mean, how many times have you lost interest about something and it's like, boom, there it is, and it's not interesting anymore?
Oh, this is a good game. I'm bored.
So how many of these games actually have that going on?
Well, I know that a lot of people can't go through the RPGs too much.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy and Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger.
And how much of that, I mean, they're so similar. The style. You can pick up any JRPG and just play it.
Well, yeah, similar fighting things, similar... and just the storytelling aspect a lot, too. Majora's Mask... the repetition, I think that's why people don't like that game as much as other games, because it's just repetition.
Really?
But I find the repetition and all the hidden things within the repetition to be the interesting aspect and the key point for that game. But I can see how people would just get bored.
Just get bored. There it is.
Yeah.
See you later.
How about Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider? Yeah, I think Tomb Raider suffered from some of that. Got into some different areas, and I personally had a problem with it. Got kind of claustrophobic.
Really?
There was one section I remember with dinosaurs, and it was really closed in, and there was this one area that you had to jump, and it was jump from here to here. You couldn't see here though, so it was you had to set up this leap of faith, and this wasn't Mirror's Edge where you could just run along the wall and then jump off of it and do it slow motion. And, that's what I want. Okay, make a Tomb Raider game with that.
A Tomb Raider Mirror's Edge. That would be
exactly.
awesome.
So,
Okay.
maybe someday.
Yeah. Well, now this is an interesting discussion. What do you guys think? Why don't you have your own little discussion in the comments area and,
let us know.
Let us know what you think. Anyways, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Mario's Pipeline.
Stuff to do before school starts this